Throughout the 1990s, General Ferguson's Red Army had managed to strengthen their grip on football and storm into Europe. However, in 2001 there was an uprising in London. A French leader by the name of General Wenger had built an army of French troops strong enough to start a French Revolution and take on the Red Army. General Wenger's troops wiped out everyone in their path and became known as the Invincibles. In 2003, a Russian billionaire called Roman decided to build an even stronger army in London with massive investment. This army became known as Chelsea and posed the biggest threat yet to General Ferguson. Chelsea recruited a leader from Portugal called General Mourinho, who put together a band of troops so strong that he became known as the Special One. General Ferguson realised the size of the threat that his Red Army now faced and had to take drastic action. He created a new rank for one man in his army so that he could infiltrate and crush his opponents from within. The rank, Special Agent. The man, Agent Kenyon. July 2007. It has been 3 long years since I was posted in London. Tricking Chelsea on a Roman into letting me join his army was easy, but gaining his trust was harder. The first task in my mission was to make sure that the light blue army of Manchester were no longer strong enough to attack my beloved Red Army. I helped Chelsea capture the biggest danger that the light blue army possessed, and have held him hostage in the stocks at Chelsea until this very day. I then continued to help Roman buy players, so they gained my trust, but I knew full well that all of these players would just cause unrest at the front line. January 2005. I took General Mourinho out for lunch and invited a young guard from the Invincibles along too. I told General Mourinho that Officer Cole wanted to join our army, knowing full well that this would not only weaken the Invincibles, but also cause them to go to war with Chelsea, allowing my beloved Red Army to gain ground on both of them. May 2006. The Chelsea army had become so strong that they were able to retain their title. I had started to doubt myself, but General Ferguson convinced me to keep at it. I decided to hike up ticket prices to shake off some of the fanatical support that Chelsea had. I also recruited troops from Germany and Ukraine to help me, as I knew that General Mourinho would not be able to command them. January 2007. Chelsea was showing signs of weakening, and General Mourinho needed to recruit more guards because Officers Terry and Carvalho were now wounded. I knew that this would make them stronger, so I convinced Roman that our army was big enough already, and he refused to give General Mourinho any more money to spend. General Mourinho was angered by this, and that made me think of a new plan. May 2007. After nearly a whole year of disruption, the Chelsea army was eventually starting to crumble. I had received word that General Ferguson had sent out another special agent, and with his help my beloved Red Army were able to crush Chelsea and take back the title. It was a close run thing, and for a while it looked as though a troop of toffee men from Liverpool were going to hold out against General Ferguson's army until Special Agent Neville instigated their collapse with some friendly fire. Finally I had seen some success from all my hard work, and I started to believe that I would be able to aim even higher and take out General Mourinho. June 2007. I needed to keep the pressure on General Mourinho, and knew that he would not like to share his leadership with a fellow general. It was then that I came up with the idea of convincing Roman that it would be a good idea for Chelsea to get a second general. I told him to imagine how strong we would be if we had 2 General Mourinhos at the helm, and he bought it. Literally, I convinced him to bring in a completely unknown general from Israel by the name of Avram Grant. This general was so rubbish that I knew I had to try to get him in sole charge of Chelsea before they played my beloved Red Army. September 2007. I cannot believe it, but my plan has worked to perfection. General Mourinho has stepped down and General Grant is now in charge of the Chelsea troops, who were all threatening mutiny. General Grant took the Chelsea troops into battle with my beloved Red Army like lambs to the slaughter, and before long they will be running away from Chelsea in their numbers, just like the fanatic followers did last week. General Ferguson was so happy with me that he took me out for a secret dinner. However, my work is not finished yet. It has not gone unnoticed that General Wenger has once again strengthened the Invincibles, so I will now turn my attention to them and their young officer Fabregas.